My sixth sense, I knew, I could feel it, that I was watched, I was listened to.
Of particular interest to Nadeau and others in the security business, Couillard's claimed that someone bugged her bed.
There was apparently some in my box spring of my mattress in my bedroom.
Prime Minister, Ms. Couillard, in her interview last night, raised new issues, gave new information that had nothing to do with the documents that you mentioned at your 7 o'clock statement, nor does it seem to be about her personal life per se. What more needs to be done to get to the bottom of this so that Canadians can feel confident?
To the bottom of what,
To the bottom of the things that she said. For instance, for example, she said that she believed after experts had been through her house to sweep it, I think is the term, that bugs had been planted in the house, microphones and so on. Do you take these things seriously?
I have absolutely no information that would suggest that's true. I have no reason to believe it's true either.
Thank you very much, everybody.
No, absolutely no reason to believe it's true. And as we've said, you know, private lives are private lives, and the Government of Canada does not intend to get into the business of investigating private citizens.
If there was a bug, then the question becomes, whose bug was it? You know, so either she was a security risk, as the opposition has been claiming, or the government got cold feet about whether or not she was a security risk and then planted the bug themselves. Either way, but you have the possibility of bugging of cabinet ministers' girlfriends. I mean, this is pretty wild stuff.
If everything was secure, I want to know two things. A, do we have some transcript from the bug? And secondly, what kind of assurance that we can get that those documents has not been photocopied and distributed to the organized crime?
Either the bug were legal or they were not. If they were legal, they were bugged. She was bugged by the RCMP or the CSIS, the Secret Service. And if that is true, then they must have a warrant from the court. And it shows that the RCMP found that Mrs. Couillard should be investigated more, contrary to what the Prime Minister said. If the bug was illegal, well, what's anybody who could see that, who could think that putting a bug in Ms. Couillard's bedroom will draw enough evidence for the trouble it is to place a bug in her house? Because I would imagine nobody is stupid enough to put a bug just under her bed. So it was just one of the bug, I suppose, that was there.
I think that Serge Menard's intervention just now shows the difference between our parties. Mr. Menard is talking about the bug, whether it was legal or illegal. What Madame Couillard in fact said last night, what she in fact...
Yeah, well, no, okay, Serge, let Thomas speak and then I'll come back.
What she in fact said during her interview last night was that she had brought in an expert who said that there was a hole in her sommier, her box spring. And that hole, according to the person she said she spoke to, might have been a bug. There's no bug that's been found in her apartment at all. And that's a perfect example of what this is about, Don. It becomes real. Mr. Menard is talking about the bug as if it was real and that there might be others. There isn't even one bug. Never mind a question of whether it was there legally or illegally. There's an affirmation of someone that they talked to someone and that other person said that there might be one. That's what this has been about. This has been about something taking off. Canada does have a problem in foreign affairs. We had a minister who was clearly not competent for the job. The NDP was the first party to stand up here in this foyer and ask for his departure as minister. That has not changed. We're glad that he's gone.
The problem is that these are her allegations. No evidence have been presented. No listening device have been found. And from a professional organization, the fact that you go and bug a bed, you put a listening device in the bed, on the bed frame, in the headboard, into the furnitures, even the wall if you want to, but not the mattress.
Too much fabric in a bed for good audio. A professional would rather bug the light switch or the phone, where an electrical charge powers the bug. Her whole story is hard to believe, says Nadeau.
Cannot say it's impossible, but I'm skeptical.
We've been led to believe that more was happening behind the scenes than has been admitted by this government. And I want to ask the Public Safety Minister, can the Public Safety Minister confirm that between May 1st and May 8th of this year, there was a meeting of CSIS and the Prime Minister's office to discuss the conduct of his Foreign Affairs Minister.
I hope the member opposite isn't so naive as to think that meetings between CSIS members and the Prime Minister on any subject would be a matter of total public record. Mr. Speaker, how naive is he being?
It's absolutely a legitimate question. So I ask again, was there a meeting between May 1st and May 8th of this year between the Prime Minister's office and CSIS?
Apparently is absolutely ignorant of items related to security of this nation. It would not be, nor should it be, nor will it be the policy of any Prime Minister to be publicly talking about meetings he or she may or may not have had with members of CSIS.
What this minister is now saying is absolute hogwash. The fact is the Prime Minister's office met with CSIS to discuss the former Foreign Affairs Minister. Why wouldn't he say whether or not a meeting took place? Did that meeting take place or not?
Mr. Speaker, it's very clear when you've lost a point in debate, the only way you can possibly recover is try and get enough froth going so it makes it look like you still have a point. Once he's calmed down and eased off the caffeine a little bit, he'll recognize that as Attorney General in the province from which I come from, there is no way in the world he would be publicizing meetings, any kinds of meetings when it comes to items of security and with agencies of security. He knew that then, he knows that now, and he's just playing a silly game right now.
Who told you this?
Look, we have our sources. I mean, I'm telling you, we've been led to believe that there was a meeting.
Sources within what?
We have sources that tell us.
Are they security sources?
Look, we have sources. We've been led to believe that there was a meeting between CSIS and the Prime Minister's office to discuss the matters involving Mr. Bernier. And that is very clear in terms of the information we received.
Qualify the credibility of that source.
How credible is your source?
Well, you know, I believe, look, I have been led to believe there was a meeting.
You've been saying all along, Mr. DeSange,
who from the PMO
do you think was there?
Well, I'm not going to think anything. All I'm telling you, there was a meeting between CSIS and the Prime Minister's office between May 1st and May 8th. We've been led to believe that.
Did you talk to someone at the meeting?
We've been led to believe. We have been led to believe there was a meeting between the Prime Minister's office and CSIS to discuss Mr. Bernier and his problems.
What's your understanding?
My understanding is that the meeting was to discuss concerns about Mr. Bernier. Beyond that, you should ask the Public Safety Minister whether or not that's true.
Today, even the country's spy service was dragged into the story. Liberals suggesting that CSIS held secret meetings with the Prime Minister's office over security concerns. That led to a flurry of denials from the Prime Minister's office, from Stockwell Day's office, and a rare statement from CSIS itself saying, quote, CSIS has no role in this case, period.
The government would appear mistaken if it believed Bernier's leaving would bring an end to the speculation surrounding it. With every passing day, with every refusal by the government to stray from its talking points, suspicion about what led to Bernier's downfall only grows.
Did Couillard obtain a special diplomatic passport which requires extra security checks to travel with the former minister?
If she passes the official spouse and she's going all over the world with the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, it means that she might detain that passport, Mr. Speaker. Right. So the question is simple, because it has an impact on the diplomatic venture. We want to know if yes or no she was detaining a green passport. That's simple as that. Yeah. She was supposed to be there officially for the past year. We want to have an answer, and we want it now.
Yeah. They're not going to comment on whether any individual had or didn't have a passport. I will observe, though, the following, that to obtain a diplomatic passport, one has to be legally married or in a legally recognized common law relationship. That is a legal status. And in the case of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, at no time that he was Minister of Foreign Affairs was he legally married or in a legally recognized common law spousal relationship.
Why is it important, Ruby Dalla, whether we find out whether Julie Couillard actually had a special passport?
I think given her background, it is incredibly important. It's important for Canadians to know these answers. It's important in regards to our national security as a country. I mean, we have had a lot of questions, and this government has provided absolutely no answers. I'm sure you know, Mike, that this story has appeared in over 68 countries. I think we tracked this morning over 2,800 newspapers around the world with different commentary of what's happened with the Foreign Affairs Minister. Canada, once known and prided for its it's a champion of human rights and democracy and peace, we've become the laughing stock overnight. And let me tell you, Canadians are quite concerned with this track record of this government.
All those newspapers, Ms. Dalla, let me assure you, just wanted an opportunity to run the picture that we just saw.